Hey guys, it's Eric here at Farpoint Farms, and tonight I wanted to show you this. This is a Vevor 30-gallon Fuel Caddy. I am like you, probably a little bit worried about fuel going into winter. I run a lot of the supplemental heat here on the farm using kerosene or diesel at times when kerosene is too expensive, which currently it is. And so I use just 5-gallon containers. I also run the tractors, and a lot of the equipment here runs on diesel. So I wanted to get some larger fuel storage because carrying around these 5-gallon gas cans, it's just getting to be a little bit silly. So looked around online and came up with this thing. I'm going to take it out of the box for you tonight, set it up, and I'll let you know what I think of it. But it's kind of cool. It's a two-way pump that's on this thing, has a fuel gauge on it, and it's got wheels so you can kind of move it around where you need it. So that's really convenient. Like I can wheel this thing over to where I need to put the diesel in my tractor or whatnot. So that's going to be kind of cool. I'm going to go ahead and tear the bottom out of this thing and we'll get it out of the box. And take a look at it. There you go. It's pretty well wrapped from the factory, I'll say that. I'll peel that off of there. Now they come in a bunch of different colors, and I do think they're also available in 35-gallon sizes, but 30 gallons, that's a lot. So I figured that would be plenty for me. Bits and pieces in here. Anyway, there it is out of the box, but of course, like I said, some assembly required. Now it looks like this is where our pump head is going to hook to. This is where we have a drain fill, and it looks like it might be hard to get it out of there, but there is a mesh filter there so you can filter stuff out. And this is our fuel gauge. Here, there's just a float down the bottom of this, so that's kind of cool. All right, got this cap here. That's for that. We have some assembly required, no doubt. So I did get. There's different models you can get. I got the one with four wheels, so all 4 wheels will spin on this. Not all of them are like that. Some models they offer had just 2 wheels and like 2 pads on the front, and those were like pads that were designed for static proofing so that you didn't have to worry about any issues with that. Here's our pump. That's going to thread onto there, but I'll put some pipe thread on that. And then this right here is our handle. I'll carry it around, and it also came with a pretty good pile of hose here, which we can use to either fill or drain the tank. So that's kind of cool. Let's see anything else. I think that's it. Oh, the washers fell out of the baggie. All right. Just some pieces here. Now it does have this, and that is a ground strap. And I'm going to use this with diesel, waste oil, and kerosene. Those are the only things that I'm going to store in there. All those are not very prone to igniting when you have sparks. It takes a pretty good amount of heat in order to get these things going. But gasoline, if you're going to use this with gasoline, well, gasoline is prone to explosions, right? It's an explosive material. So using a ground strap so that you don't create a spark while filling or discharging this or filling a can or whatnot, yeah, that's going to be kind of important for you. All right. Next, there's our little handle. Got a lock on it so you can stop it. I like it. And then here's our 2 main wheels. These are solid rubber wheels here. Okay. Well, give me a minute. I'm going to assemble all this stuff, and then we'll take a look. All right, I've got everything laid out. Go ahead and start assembly here. The very first piece we're going to be assembling is this. These are the back wheels, the big wheels. And if you look carefully, they're dished. This side is dished inward, that side is dished outward. We're going to want the side that's dished outward to be there. There are 2 of these. These sit inside, and those are kind of our center, so the bearing has something to ride on. And then we have a washer and our big 18mm bolt here. We're going to start that. There we go. And like I said, it's an 18mm. There we go. And while we have it on this side, we can also install this. This is our front wheel, and it's a pivoting wheel. So what it has is we're going to be screwing that in, and then we have this, which is a 14, and that's going to lock it in place once we get it in there. So we're going to spin that around enough until we pretty much bottom it out. Okay, and then once it's all the way down, we'll take that 14 and we'll tighten that so that the wheel spins without unscrewing this. Piece of cake, right? I'll do the same thing on this side. And again, once that's tight, there we go. Flip it. And we can hook up our last big tire. And again, we're using this big bolt, this centerpiece. We're dishing it towards the inside. And we're going to put our washer in there and start that. Nice. Then we'll set it up right. The next thing we're going to install will be our handlebar here. And that it's kind of cool. So we're going to take these two smaller ones. These are 17s. And this is actually threaded on the bottom side. So it slides in. And then just bolts into place so it can't escape. All right, once we have that on, we're going to move on to our fuel gauge. And it's this. It's already got the level sender in there, so we don't need to do anything other than add the plastic cap to it, and then it just kind of screws down on there. And it's really probably hard for you to see, but it actually has a gauge that tells you gallon-wise how many gallons are in there. Cool. All right, now we've got our pump, so we're going to thread that on there. It does come with some thread locker, which is really nice. Okay. It's a metric pitch thread. That's a really fine thread. All right, and then we've got our arm here, which is an offset, and it does come with a set screw. So go ahead and install that. Okay. Then this requires more of the thread locker. This is where our top hose is going to attach to. That's a 1 inch. We'll tighten that the rest of the way down. Okay. All right, now it even comes with the hose clamp you'll need to hook the hose up. Go ahead and do that. That's just a regular flathead screwdriver, which I do not have over here. Let me grab one of those. And that, my friends, is almost that. Lay that up on top. We have that one last thing that I want to hook up. And that is this, and that is our ground strap. So we're just going to hook that ground strap up. And I'm going to put it just on one of these right here. To attach that, all I'm doing here is I'm going to take one of these little pins loose on the pump housing. I'm going to loosen it like half a turn, 3/4 of a turn, just enough to slide this wire up into that. That is that, my friends. Let me get the camera off the tripod and we'll take a closer look.
Here we are, the Vevor 30-gallon fuel caddy, and it is certainly going to give me a lot more room for fuel storage than the 4 or 5 gallon cans that I have. So it also takes up a lot less space. It's a lot easier to carry around, I'd imagine, because you can roll around with those front wheels and lock it in place when you need to. Here's the fuel gauge I was talking about. Really hard probably to make out, but there is a fuel gauge level there. Here's our manual fill if I want to fill it up here, and you can see inside of there is a mesh filter there so I don't get trash in there. And it's a nice, you can see inside of that, it's got like a wire to keep the hose from collapsing. And there's the end there, so for filling and emptying, that's going to be convenient for, especially with the tractor. Now I've been thinking about trying to get a diesel engine for the generator here at the house as well. Of course, some no smoking signs, which is sound advice. There's our little roller here. Seems to move pretty well. And then our pump, two-way pump. So that'll go to either fill or empty the tank, which I think is really neat. So one of the things I plan on doing here, moving more and more off grid, we're going to get some waste oil. I'm going to try to build a waste oil heater. Going to be trying to use waste oil mixed with diesel to help extend the life or extend the runtime of some of the equipment we have here. Also been thinking, I'm big into older Volkswagens. A lot of the old Rabbits were diesel engines. I know that a lot of folks run waste oil and run their diesel trucks off of that when it talks about that era. Do not try to do that on a modern diesel, or you won't have a modern diesel. But on old mechanical injected diesels, you could run waste oil. You could run what they call biodiesel, which is like vegetable oil, stuff like that. And so getting a tank like this and moving a little bit more off grid in that direction is all part of the process. So I hope you'll stick around. Farpoint does a lot of weird stuff, and we're going to be doing a lot of weird stuff on this channel, a lot of weird stuff on the second channel as well, as we move into some different engine designs and some different, I wouldn't say restorations, but different repairs. So stick around, my friends, and I'll leave a link where you can get this. It wasn't too much. I got this one off of Amazon, but eBay also sells, you can get them off of eBay, and I think Vevor's actual website, you could get them. But at the time I looked, Amazon had the best deal going. Till next time, my friends, take care.